Hello there everyone, Ashnflash here, and welcome on into another CMF series. Today's series is a sequel to a series that I made months ago during the summer for the release of Toy Story 4, and now with the release of Disney Pixar's Onward this weekend, what better time than now to release my Pixar Series 2, and it has 22 characters. I guess more than 22 characters. You'll see here in a second, but 22 from each movie that they've released all the way up until Onward, back from Toy Story, Bugs Life, Toy Story 2, Monsters Inc., and all of those you'll see in a second. I just gotta mention quickly, we're really scraping the bottom of the barrel here for some of these characters, specifically for Toy Story and The Incredibles. Of course, I've done 2 Toy Story series now. I've done an Incredibles series, as well as on top of that, the first Pixar series. So picking characters is getting very, very hard, but we'll talk about that towards the end, I guess. But anyways, everyone, let's go ahead and let's get started with Toy Story 1. And this was a very easy choice in my opinion. It's one that I had been wanting to do for a while. And it is Andy's mom, and she's here, and she doesn't quite look like herself, I'd say, in the first Toy Story. She has this very plain and generic face model. Don't pay too much attention to that, or I guess the torso. The legs were really what is detailed here, and really iconic with her stepping on the Green Army Man, which is why he's included here. I guess that's the one that, go on without me, that guy. I'm really happy with that accessory, and then I was like, no, we're gonna go one step further, and I wanted to make the present that she gave to Andy and have Buzz in his box there. So it's a brand new box piece with the front is open, so you can actually pop in the micro figure. I don't know if that would actually work. Maybe it'd have to be like popping in from the back, but it is a different micro figure technically than the one from our Toy Story series because the wings are closed. So yeah, and on the side there you can attach some cheese slopes, which, I don't know, just a fun little build. I'm really happy with how that turned out. But moving on to Bugs Life, we have the first villain in the series, and it is Hopper. Immediately, I knew that I didn't just want to do another ant. I wanted to spice things up a bit, so I decided to do Hopper. And my goodness, his color choices were so hard to choose, but I'm really happy, like the way that it looks with the Demogorgon legs, as well as it could be the Twitch wings. I'm not really sure. It's probably, we'll go with a new piece, as well as the 4 arms there on the torso from Solo, using that torso. I think looks really good, as well as just the head there, brand new with new antennas and everything. But the colors were really difficult, so I consulted my good friend CM4 Sign. He really was a big help with this figure because I was really struggling with the colors. It's very hard. But moving on to the next one, it is Toy Story 2, and we have Al from Al's Toy Barn. And of course, it's different than the Toy Story 2 series one, and this is him in his regular sort of attire, the one when he steals Woody. And I wanted to give him a really cool accessory, which is why I came up with the Stinky Pete in his box. And I'm really happy with how that turned out. It was so much fun to actually draw the box design and then slap on a Stinky Pete micro figure on the inside. That's a print. The figure wouldn't be included. Moving on now to Monsters Inc., we have Boo. And oh my goodness, she's so cute. And I really had so much fun making her. And of course, I knew immediately the accessory was going to be Little Mikey, and the hairpiece as well. It had always been in my mind to do Boo, and I'm really happy that I was able to do this now. Oh my goodness. Yeah, she looks really cute here with the little pigtails there from the series 18 Party Girl. Now, moving on to Finding Nemo, there wasn't really a human that I could pick besides, I guess, the dentist. And we'll get to Finding Dory in a bit, but that was the one where I'm like, there is literally no humans in this movie, so I couldn't pick anyone. So I was like, we'll just go with fish. So that's why here for Finding Nemo we have Marlin and Nemo, as well as I was trying to come up with an accessory, and I was like, let's do the scuba mask. I know scale-wise it doesn't make sense, but it just looks really cool to see the minifigure mask there colored to be that iconic one from the movie. And I'm really happy with how the little fish turn out with a little stud attachment on the bottom. I think it's really cute, the two of them. You'll see another one soon. But next up, again, like I said before, Incredibles was really hard to pick characters from. I've done 18 figures from both the movies and all the iconic outfits and different things, so I was like, let's update Elastigirl. And I've never drawn her 3D here with the classic variant, so that was a lot of fun to draw this Glory Days version of her. And then I was like, let's go above and beyond. And I decided to give her the Miss Marvel stretchy arms and the big hands there, the gauntlet pieces in red. And I just think that that looks really cool. I'm sad that we didn't get more versions of Elastigirl in the sets. I really wish they'd return to that, or just give us a Pixar line. Next up for Cars, we have Doc Hudson. I immediately knew that I wanted to include him. He is just such a big part of that movie, and I'm really happy with how he turned out here. If you didn't know how these worked, it is a new sort of style that I created, and the way that it works is underneath, the wheels are actually the little weights that the minifigures have in different sets like that. The little skateboard wheels, so it worked the same way. You could push them around, but they're really, I guess, smaller than the versions that you get in the sets. Next up from Ratatouille, we have Colette and Emile. And I knew, of course, she had to be in the series, of course, with Linguini in the last one. And I never realized that all their outfits were literally the exact same. So I just had to change up a couple of things, but the face print was a lot of fun to work with. Give her a whisk, and Emile is actually a different rat piece. It's not the same one for Remy. So that was a lot of fun to design and kind of change things up, while still making it feel like Remy from the previous series. And I had to give him a little accessory there with a cheese slope piece in dark yellow. Next up, we have Eve from WALL-E, and I'm not even kidding. I had been rewatching all the movies. This whole time I thought that her name was Eva because of the way WALL-E said it. And when I was searching up pictures of references, I'm like, where's Eva? It's not coming up. And then I realized it was Eve, and that's really clever with like Adam and Eve and them starting the whole Earth again. But anyways, I'm really happy with how she turned out. She's got the whale arms there, and I just think that they worked really well. And she has this new body piece, and I in my head, the way that the head is attached, either it has like this transparent sort of piece going through the whole thing maybe, or it's one of the new superhero stance poses, so she's able to angle her head a little bit like that. I don't really know. I just think she looks really cute here in this sort of minifigure form, as well as she's got a stamp piece on the bottom and then like this plate piece to have her sort of floating. And then the boot is a new piece that would actually have a hole in it so that you could put the newer leaf piece there that can go through and attach to the boot. So I'm really happy with how that turned out. Next up from Up, we have Russell, and he's just so cute, and it was the character that they chose for Lego Incredibles, the video game. So I wanted to do Mr. Fredricksen in the first series, and then of course I knew that Russell was going to be in this series, and I've been wanting to draw him for a while. And I didn't just want to give his scarf printed. I thought that it would work really well to use the classic scarf piece there and have it in orange, and I think that it turned out nicely. He has a new hat and hair combo with the cap sort of angled upwards. His accessory is the Wilderness Explorer's backpack, which is the newer sort of backpack piece that we've been getting recently. And then moving on to Toy Story 3, we have Andy all grown up, which was one that I had been wanting to draw for a while. He's using Lloyd's hair piece there from the Ninjago movie, and I just think that it turned out really well. And it's one of the most emotional scenes, I think, for me, nostalgia-wise and just emotional-wise in any Pixar movie, and I just wanted to do the box so badly. I know it sounds dumb, but I love that scene to death, and I just wanted to draw the box, and I wanted to write Attic on it, just like they did in the movie, and I didn't want to give him a figure. I thought that was, we'll just say everyone's in there, and that was powerful enough. But moving on now to Cars 2, we have Mater in the disguise from that movie, and you know what? That's not that bad a movie. I watched it last night while I was up late working on the series. Quite enjoyed it. Anyways, he's here using a similar sort of mold and piece that I created for him in the last series, but it is a little bit different in terms of there's less lights on top, as well as he has a hood piece here, and that's just, I guess, one piece. I wouldn't say that it could snap on. Maybe it can. Who's to say? And then next up, we've got Queen Eleanor from Brave. New bear headpiece with a crown on top, and her accessories a fish. Alright, moving on now to Monster University. We have Randall Boggs, and I knew that I wanted to include Randall in the series, either from Monsters Inc. or from Monsters University, and luckily, every single time that I search up his name, it's always him with glasses on. But meanwhile, the entirety of the movie almost, he doesn't wear them, so it's very weird. Anyways, so he's here, and I was really glad that I was able to make him, and the way that the bottom piece works, I kind of took inspiration from the genie piece, weirdly enough, the way that that kind of attaches, and then he's got the 4 legs there and a tail piece that can rotate around. And then moving on to Sadness from Inside Out, and oh, I'm so happy with how she came out. She's so adorable, and also it was just so much fun to make this new hairpiece. And then I was like, am I gonna print the glasses or am I gonna have them attached somehow? And then I remembered Edna from the Incredible series, and of course Robin, and I was like, let's go ahead and let's do it in that same sort of style. So I have the eyes and the hair kind of covering the one side of the face, as well as the eyebrows, all printed onto this hairpiece that's one piece. And I just thought that that worked really, really well, and I'm so happy with how she turned out. Then of course her accessory is a orb piece there in transparent blue to be a sad memory. But moving on to the Good Dinosaur, we have the Good Dinosaur himself. I think never finished the movie, couldn't get through it. It's Arlo. Yeah, new pieces. We'll go with the head and the tail and the body are so 3 pieces. Woo, Good Dinosaur. Moving on now to Finding Dory, and she was so much fun to create. Oh my goodness, I really love that movie. I might be in the minority here, but I really do like Finding Dory. And specifically, Dory as a character is just really, really incredible. So it was fun to create her in the same sort of style as Marlin and Nemo, as well as I was like, what am I going to do for an accessory? And then I decided to give her the bucket piece in green with a white handle. Now moving on to Cars 3, I knew that I wanted to include Lightning McQueen in the series somewhere, same with Mater, and have them in 2 different variants from the first series, and that's when I saw this. And I've only seen Cars 3 once, didn't remember this existed, and the fabulous Lightning McQueen just looks really, really cool. So I was really having so much fun designing this, and if you notice, all 3 cars are blue. This whole series is really blue looking back at it, even though the art is red this time around. But moving on now to Coco. Oh, love Coco. Anyways, it was a toss-up between 2 characters, but I had to include Ernesto de la Cruz here, and oh my goodness, really, really happy with how he turned out. Yeah, I can't stop and stress enough how much I love this movie. So it's so much fun to return to it and make Ernesto de la Cruz. And I didn't want to put in his guitar again because I already had it in the first series with Miguel. And for his accessory here, I decided to do the picture frame of Hector, who I wanted to put in the series. It was a toss-up between the 2. And I'm glad that I was able to represent him here on a 2x2 tile, and the sombrero and everything, being able to decorate that was so much fun, as well as I also gave him this alternate look with the Superman sort of classic curl S hair in black, which I just think looks really good with the figure. And then moving on now to the Incredibles 2, and like I said before, we scraped the bottom of the barrel here, and there's not much left for me to make, so I was like, let's redo Void. She's one of my favorite parts of that movie, and one of the coolest designs by far, and one of the more important newer superheroes introduced in that movie. So it was a little surprising to me that she wasn't in any of the sets, and I was really disappointed by that. And specifically with the Disney Series 2, I definitely think that she deserved a spot over Edna instead with Frozone, but I might get a little bit of hate for saying that, but I stand by that. But anyways, she comes with a new hairpiece, of course, from my Incredible series, but she also comes with the handle parts with some dish pieces in bright trans blue for her like portal opening powers. And that's it for Void, but I'm really happy with being able to update her. And then moving on now to Toy Story 4. I, of course, knew going in that I wanted to include Gabby Gabby in the series and have a micro figure of her, which is why, of course, I had to include Harmony, and I just thought that it worked out really, really well. I liked her design. It was kind of unique and different with the polka dots on a purple dress, and I'm actually using the violet hairpiece there with the headband, but I've recolored it to match Harmony's hair color, as well as she's using the dress piece that I created before Trolls started using it, so it has some polka dots there, and I'm really happy with how Harmony turned out. And I just really wanted to play the Gabby Gabby emotional music which I really love doing with a lot of the characters included in the series. You probably heard in the back already. But now on to the very last character. We have Barley Lightfoot from Disney Pixar's Onward, and oh my goodness, I just absolutely love the movie. Again, really recommend you going out and giving it a look. I really love the movie, and Chris Pratt was just amazing in the movie, and he was so funny, and he's here now using a hair and hat combo, as well as I believe it was the chip bag that I created for my Wreck-It Ralph series, and that's recolored there to be the cheese puffs bag that he is eating from in a couple of clips and trailers of the movie already released. Anyways, everyone, that is it for my Pixar Series 2. Like I said, it was really, really difficult to pick some of these characters specifically for Toy Story and The Incredibles. But anyways, I love this series. I love Disney. I love Pixar. It has been a part of my life for as long as I can remember. And I'm really happy that I was able to draw some of these characters that I've been wanting to do for so long. But anyways, everyone, before we wrap things up, I just want to quickly mention a couple of things. First of all, I would love to do a Series 3, and I very nearly just scrapped a couple of these movies. You can see which ones I spent the least amount of time talking about. I think that if when Soul releases, if this series does well, I want to do a third series for that. I think it'd be really great, but it'll only have 18 characters that time, as well as I'm not going to stick to only having one character per movie done, and I would love to finish the Inside Out crew as well, so I can't do 5 series, so I need to do Anger, Disgust, and Envy, and there's just a bunch of other characters in here that I'm like, I want to do 2 of in different things, but I can't because I wanted to do 1 character per series for this one. But Series 3, potentially, if this does well. You guys, every single time that I seem to say that, you guys just absolutely blow my expectations for the series. But anyways, that is all that I have to say about the series, but please go check out Onward. Really, really, really recommend it. And let me know down below in the comment sections, were you upset with some of my character choices? Who would you have liked to see in some of these spots? I hope that you did enjoy this video, and I hope that you all have a great day. I will see you all in the next one.